everyone, and welcome back to Movin' Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. It's the podcast where we watch the Great Muppet Caper 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Anthony Strand.
And I'm your other host, Ryan Rowe.
And joining us today, we have a very special guest star. Tell the folks who you are, special guest.
I am Quinn Rollins, and I am from Salt Lake City, Utah. And I'm a Muppet fan.
And Quinn was a regular on the Tough Pigs forum going back to just about the very start.
Yeah, pretty early days.
He's like classic gang, so it's always nice to get one of our old friends on the show. So welcome, man. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm a very old friend, so yeah.
We're all old now.
We're all old.
Time is linear. Sad.
It is pretty sad that time is linear. But today we are jumping back in time to 1981 to talk about minutes 15 and 16 of The Great Muppet Caper. As these minutes open, the whole Muppet gang at the Happiness Hotel continues singing the song Happiness Hotel. And when we close, they're still doing it. We see neither the beginning nor the end of the song. These minutes are like a circle where the Happiness Hotel never ends.
But what a joyful circle.
So, as we open these minutes, the first thing we hear is Kermit says the bellhops look like rats. And Rolf says, you should see the chambermaids. So, here's my question, fellas. Is that misogynistic? It kind of is, right?
I never thought of it that way. It just feels like a very sort of old-fashioned, set-up punchline joke,
right, but
to me. Like something that Ralph might even do with Jimmy Dean back on the Jimmy Dean show.
Sure. What I'm saying is that the punchline is sometimes women are ugly, right? Like,
okay, but he's a dog talking about rats.
Fair enough.
So I mean, if I don't know, I would say in some other podcast I would say they're no prize pig either, but in a Muppet one where prize pigs are prominent, so
yeah,
prominent
true.
prize pig.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like they've established that the male bellhops are strange looking, so it's like, everyone's strange looking around.
All
here.
right, fair enough. You've convinced me.
But we never see the chambermaid, so we don't actually know. We can't judge for ourselves.
We can just imagine what the chambermaids look like.
So
they're probably penguins.
Oh, yeah. What if they aren't even rats?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Huh.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess the bellhops actually are rats. So when Kermit says they look like rats, that's not an insult.
What if the chambermaids are chickens? Because there are a lot of chickens going around.
They could definitely be chickens. Yeah. That would be appropriate to a Muppet Hotel.
Yeah. So we do get to see the bellhops who look like rats and are rats, and we get to see them tap dance here, which is so much fun. Any thoughts about tap dancing rats?
Well, Rizzo does his little dance, or at least I think it's Rizzo, in the doorway of the elevator. But then there's also this thing where there's sort of, maybe this is what you're talking about, where they just sort of scurry across the floor carrying the suitcases.
Yeah, so I was talking about Rizzo's tap dance, but both. I mean, we can talk about all rat puppetry effects right now.
Oh, okay. Well, because they're two very different puppetry effects happening there. Like, I'm sure when Rizzo does his little dance, it's just Steve Whitmire like bouncing the puppet back and forth, and he's wearing a black sleeve or something, so all we see is Rizzo. That's a pretty simple thing. But then looking at the shot where the rats are carrying the suitcases, I'm really not sure how they did that.
I was thinking the same thing, and I was impressed by it. I still am, but I got caught up in wondering, like, are there motors inside of the suitcases, and then the whole thing is being like brought along sort of marionette style from the top?
That's what seems likely to me.
I spent some time thinking about it, and then I stopped thinking about it.
Well, I looked.
You just can't think about it too long.
Well, I tried to find if there was like a Jim's Red Book entry or any other material, behind the scenes info about it, and I couldn't find any, in a cursory Google search. So,
if it's marionette style, I don't see any strings.
No.
Yeah, I feel like they're on something, like on the ground. or something.
like
I feel like
some
the
kind of
mechanism
trap.
must,
Yeah.
that the mechanism must be
But then
like out of frame, and there's some sort of rigging that we don't see. I don't know.
They even make a turn that, like, it would be one thing if they were just walking in a straight line, but then they they make a turn when they get to the stairs, so their path is curved, and then they go onto the rug, which just seems like, the Muppet people showing off again.
Yeah, that if you know to look for the puppetry of this, you're going to be amazed by it. And if you don't know to
Right.
look, you're like, oh, rats are carrying suitcases. All right.
Right. That's cute. It's cute that rats.
Yeah.
And then
That's
you think rats walking in a straight line is cool? Watch this, the rats can turn.
What? Right.
Yeah.
Next thing I wanted to talk about is some of the lyrics. The Electric Mayhem kind of take the center stage here.
Yes.
And which is great. I'm excited about that. Don't get me wrong. But one of the first lines is Dr. Teeth says, the whole dang thing has been condemned by American Express.
Yep.
So Jim Henson had starred in a famous American Express commercial a few years earlier in 1975, which may have inspired that line. But also, what does this actually mean? Did credit card companies pass judgment on foreign businesses back then? Like, I actually have no idea why American Express would be condemning a hotel in London.
American Express was in the business of travelers' checks more than anything else.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
At that time. So even if you weren't a card holder, you would have American Express travel checks with you. And I imagine if they said you can't redeem these at the Happiness Hotel, maybe that's what Dr. Teeth is talking about.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So not only can you not use them there, American Express has officially condemned this place of business.
Sure, that makes sense.
Is condemned the same thing as damned?
I guess so, probably. Yeah.
All right.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And of course,
right.
Dr. Teeth said "dang," right? He said he said the milder version of "damn" a minute ago.
Thank goodness.
I'm just trying to think now, when you see a sign on an abandoned building that says condemned, is it the same as seeing a sign that says damned?
Do you see many signs that say damned on buildings?
not quite as dramatic, maybe.
But just seconds later, Janice does not hold back. Janice says, sure, the management is cheerful, though the whole joint's gone to hell. She straight up says it.
And I love her for it.
Oh, sure, man. But
this movie is rated G.
This movie's rated G. And of course, like, that's a pretty mild profanity. But in all 8 theatrical Muppet movies, like including the 2 newest ones, during a time when like animated movies sometimes have mild profanity in them, or other kids' movies.
And those are rated PG.
You're right. This is the only, like, even the mildest profanity in any of them. So it still jumps out at me after all this time. Like a Muppet saying hell in their movie.
Yeah, it is striking. I don't know if maybe it seems like it's not quite as profane because she's talking about the location, like hell is a place in the Bible. I feel like that's kind of something when I was a kid where it would be like, you can't say what the hell because that's a bad word, but if you say, I don't know, people who sin go to hell.
Right.
That's
you can
less
say
of
like
a bad word.
Right. Like, but again, like for me growing up,
you know what
like,
I mean?
I do. But
you guys went to Sunday school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So a Lutheran. Okay. Anyways. No, I'm not going to do that. But I feel like this borders on it being like go to hell, which is still pretty, like, to tell someone to go to hell. I don't know.
Yes,
like,
no,
I know
it
that
is risque.
Yeah. Anyways, it's not like she's just like Satan rules over.
No, not in this song.
I
Janice just says that Satan rules over hell. Anyways, what, Quinn? Sorry.
I love that, she might have like 5 or 6 lines in the movie, and one of them is this, and it's the lyric for a song. And is it Joe Raposo? Is he the composer?
Yep.
Yeah. So it fits in well with the song. It tells a story, and it rhymes. I mean, what else do I want?
Right. She's not going to say the whole joint's gone to heck to rhyme with happiness hotech, right?
No. Also, I think there aren't a lot of Muppets that it would work coming from, like, you can't imagine Kermit or Fozzie saying that.
Right.
But somehow Janice
Maybe-
is like, yeah, that sounds like Janice.
Right. Or maybe Floyd. Like
Floyd,
those
yeah.
are the two.
I think even Dr. Teeth could say it.
I think
Yeah.
all of them could. In more recent productions, I would say like Rizzo or Pepe could, but if they did it, it would be more like malicious than Janice. I don't know.
Well-
she's so mellow, it just kind of rolls off the tongue or
Yeah.
uvula, what have you.
And in the 2015 Muppets ABC sitcom, there was a line, I think in the first episode, where Kermit says his life has become a bacon-wrapped hell on Earth, which is pretty close.
Right. Well, and,
Yeah.
and actually, speaking of which, we should talk about this. The Muppet Show pitch reel from
Yes.
1975,
Mhm.
which you can find on the DVD in an edited form on, I think, the season 1 DVD. In its original pitch to the network's form, it ends with Kermit popping up and saying, "What the hell was that?" So,
Yeah, my understanding is that they had, I don't know if this is actually true, but they cut it from that DVD release because it's Kermit standing in front of the CBS logo when he says that. And they couldn't get the rights to clear the CBS logo. But if
they probably weren't going to put that on a DVD in 2005.
well, maybe not.
Anyway.
But if you go to the Museum of the Moving Image in Queens, New York, there's in the Jim Henson exhibition, there's a little screen in the Muppet Show section that just plays that pitch film on a loop, and it does include Kermit coming in at the end saying, "What the hell was that all about?"
Huh.
So,
and
plan your trip to New York so you can hear Kermit say, "What the hell?"
And I guess that the idea was that the Muppet Show wasn't going to be Sesame Street, right? Like they could say, and occasionally they did, like very occasionally they did say some mild profanity on the Muppet Show. Most notably for this particular word, the Mac Davis episode in season 5 has a song where they say, "Is it he must have been a hell of a man" or something over and over.
Oh yeah,
And like the whole gang
yeah.
is singing along. It's like Beauregard and Fozzie like singing along.
right.
So
Mac Davis. Wow. Yeah.
yeah, it's the one where Beaker gets duplicated into 8 beakers.
Yes.
That's a great episode.
Great episode. Also,
And then, of course, you have
a massive load of H bombs dropped on the studio.
And there's a joke that's repeated a couple times on the Muppet Show involving a fish, where a character says, "Why are you carrying the fish?" or something to that effect. And the answer is just for the
halibut. Yeah, pretty good one.
Yep.
All right. So, any other "the whole joint's gone to hell" thoughts before we move on?
That's all I got.
I like I do like that it brings a little bit of edge, a little bit of bite, but not too much. To me, it's just the right amount. It's like, yeah, I can't imagine, like in the Jason Segel, the Muppets, I can't imagine that being including that in there because it's so sweet and so sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And the tone of that was more like the Muppets should just always be sweet and nice.
Yeah,
Right.
and
The
Janice
Muppets should be more. The Muppets should be. Sorry.
Janice doesn't roll that way. She
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Right.
that movie is firmly of the opinion that the Muppets should be more like Walter, a made-up character who is a Jason Segel Muppet. Anyways,
Exactly.
we'll talk about that more in a few years.
Yeah.
All right. So, but the Electric Mayhem, we find out, are only living at the hotel between gigs. So it's been about 5 years, Floyd says. And speaking of Janice being a delight in this movie, I love her optimism that things are really going to break as soon as we get our new glossies.
And who is their manager?
I don't know. I guess it's Bernie, right? It's the generic Muppet agent or manager, Bernie.
Yeah.
Or is it still Scooter, like the joke from the Muppet movie?
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe because Scooter is in this, living with them in the hotel.
He is around, yeah.
So maybe he's their manager.
Well, and I mean, they have Gonzo. They're now a photographer, an actual photographer with an actual camera.
They can just
staying
take
with them.
glossies. Although, as we've discussed on the podcast previously, Gonzo's a pretty terrible photographer.
Well, yeah, he's
In this.
terrible at a lot of things. So.
So it doesn't matter if he takes bad glossies.
Yeah. I
Still
don't
better
think
than
it's
what
going
they
to
have.
harm. It's not going to. Their career won't be any worse.
Right,
after this.
right. So the next thing we find out about a member of the Electric Mayhem is that Zoot says that Animal is upset about missing the Rembrandt exhibit at the National Gallery, and Animal yells, Renoir!
Right. Yeah,
Which
I wrote that
is
down. Why does he do that?
because he's not upset about missing the Rembrandt exhibit. He's upset about missing the Renoir exhibit. He's correcting Zoot, right?
It's an oddly timed joke, though, isn't it?
You think?
Like,
See,
there's something.
I don't know. I've never had any trouble with it personally. Like I got it.
well-
I don't know.
You would think that like Renoir had been a running gag or something, and or I mean, but it's the only time it ever comes up.
Right. Well, since you said that, I will point out that it also made a recent return in the 2018 Muppet Babies series.
Oh, really?
In the episode "You Ought to Be in Pictures," where the babies go to an art museum, an Animal is like super stoked to see the Renoir paintings.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, well,
It's a
which
nice callback.
and actually, my daughter
Or call forward.
So my daughter Iris loves that show and saw this movie for the first time recently, and was amazed. Like she said out loud, "He still likes Renoir."
Oh,
Like it was like reassuring to her to find out that Animal retains his favorite painter as an adult.
That's just part of Animal's character.
Yep.
so is Renoir? Is this like his rosebud, like on his deathbed? I mean, someday, Animal's life will come to an end, and on his deathbed, he's like Renoir. I mean,
Someday they'll make the Muppet Babies sequel series, Muppet Old People.
yes.
Oh yeah, that was.
The elderly.
You guys remember that Smig drawing? That was a good one.
Oh yeah. It wasn't. Was it called Muppet Old People? He probably had a more clever name for it.
I don't remember.
Muppet Geezers.
Muppet Geezers, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like Smig.
But-
Smig, if you're listening, we love you.
We sure do. But the joke, I don't know, maybe if he had said, like, not Rembrandt, Renoir, or something like that, I did not get the joke for years. I think somebody had to explain it to me, but...
Sure.
I still don't.
And then the other odd thing about that is... the other odd thing is on the soundtrack album, Zoot says Animal is upset because he's missing the Monet exhibit.
Yes.
Rather than the Rembrandt exhibit. Now, why would they change that?
I kind of wonder if they just did two different takes and then just decided to switch it up for the hardcore fans. I don't know.
And maybe at one point they decided that one was funnier than the other, but then I don't know.
On the soundtrack album, does Animal say Renoir after that line?
I think he does.
I thought he said Monet.
Like Monet.
But
I thought it was like Monet, isn't it?
Oh.
that Zoot says Monet and Animal says
Monet. Am I
Monet?
misremembering? I don't know.
You're
think
misremembering.
so.
Okay, all right. It's probably just what I thought it should have been. I don't know.
Sorry about that, listeners out there who know what we don't know.
Yeah. So what happens next? Here's a weird thing. Did either of you guys notice the poster behind Animal during this sequence?
I meant to look at it, but because there's a bunch of posters glued to the wall, but I didn't really.
Yeah, I
look at
noticed
it.
the one behind the piano. I didn't notice one behind Animal.
Yeah, the one behind Animal that we can read clearly says Eric Moschwitz presents Balalaika.
Yes, I like
And-
it. Yeah.
Yeah, so Eric Moschwitz was a playwright, and this show was a musical comedy, and it premiered in London at His Majesty's Theatre in 1936.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And Eric Moschwitz died in 1969, so it's not like he's presenting this in 1981. It's not something new. It's something that a production designer or somebody like went out of, chose this poster. And I don't know if it's just because this movie has like a 1930s musical comedy vibe or what, but I kind of like that it's like a stage farce from the 30s. I don't know.
Yeah,
Weird.
I wonder if they just went looking, I don't know, in antique shops or something for something that looked like, and just for the whole hotel, even just for stuff that didn't look too new, maybe.
Right.
If it looked like a poster that was made in 1980, then that wouldn't really fit the tone of the movie. But yeah,
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know much about it, but and I like the title. I like that it's just called Balalaika.
Balalaika.
So then the next thing is for about 30 seconds we just watch the Electric Mayhem jam, which is great.
Yeah, it's fun.
I really like watching those guys do their thing.
Did we mention last week that this movie? I know we were talking about characters who this is the first time they were in a movie. But did we mention that Lips is one of those?
No, I know, and actually that's the next thing I was about to say. So thank you, Ryan.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, we need to talk about Lips.
All right, so Quinn, who is Lips? Tell us who Lips is, Quinn.
So Lips is the trumpet player who sometimes plays with the Electric Mayhem. Because after Steve Whitmire came on board, they wanted to add a sixth member to Electric Mayhem so that the major players could each have somebody, and they created Lips for Steve Whitmire to perform.
Right, future Muppet superstar Steve Whitmire.
Yes.
So what are your strong opinions about Lips?
I have a decades long issue with Lips, but all right. So one of the things I love about the Muppets is there's a strong sense of family. The Muppets are a family of characters, and to me, Lips is like the cousin Oliver who he comes late. He doesn't bring a lot to the table, yeah, I mean his name is Lips, and he doesn't have lips. The first time I read some sort of like book or comic book or something that had it was talking about lips, and I thought that was Janice's name because she actually has lips. And I think
that's true.
I was also watching MASH at the same time. You have hot lips, so I'm like, oh, Janice is like Lips, and somehow she's connected to Loretta Swit, and she wasn't, but
yeah.
Lips.
I never thought about the fact that he doesn't have lips. That had never occurred to me.
He doesn't have lips. He doesn't have any lines in this song, where every other member of Electric Mayhem has extended either asides or actual lines in the song.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he doesn't. The nice things about Lips that I do appreciate, I like the puppet design itself. That hair is
I like that.
Is amazing. Visually, he brings a lot. I like his dashiki.
He looks cool.
And the trumpet adds a lot to the sound of this song. This whole jam session is very Dixieland jazz, and it works, and it's beautiful. But I don't consider him a member of Electric Mayhem. So there it is. Electric Mayhem had 5 members.
Right, sure, yeah, I get that. Well, and there's also Muppets at Walt Disney World, where the Electric Mayhem has 7 members for some reason.
They had Clifford,
and the 7th one is Clifford. Yeah.
That was just Clifford had been a main character on the Jim Henson Hour, and they were trying to figure out a place to put him.
Well, Clifford is my homie made of foamy, so I was.
True. So yeah, I don't have a problem with Lips because he really never says anything. Like, he doesn't really do anything. He just kind of,
which is my problem with him. He doesn't bring anything to the table.
Right.
I guess that's why I don't have a problem. If he was like, I don't know, taking screen time away from Dr. Teeth and Janice and Floyd, I would.
What was weird was, like, Lips hung around for a while the first time, right? Like, he's in Muppet Family Christmas. He's in Muppets at Walt Disney World. He's in Muppet Christmas Carol, like, with the band.
He's not in the Muppets Take Manhattan, is he?
No, he's not. No, correct.
No.
Huh.
But so he's in, like, through the 80s into the early 90s, he's just kind of there, like you say, not doing much, just kind of a visual presence. And then he disappears for like 20 years. And he comes back in the Jason Segel movie in 2011. They rebuilt him for that. And then, like, he's in Muppets Most Wanted and on the 2015 TV show. And there he had a bunch of lines. They tried to pretend that he was a character.
Well, I remember Steve Whitmire saying something in an interview about, like, when they were shooting one of the early episodes of the ABC sitcom, he had a line and Steve felt like for the first time ever in, after 30 years, he had like just figured out who Lips's character was.
Aww. That's
Which doesn't, you know.
That's the tragedy is Steve Whitmire came into work and said, I finally figured out Lips's character. And then they said, Steve, we have some bad news for you. So
Yeah, well, but even then, like he does have more lines on the sitcom than he had before, but even then it's not like he becomes a breakout character the way, for example, Uncle Dudley or Yolanda did when they got more to do on that series.
Right, he was more like a Denise type. So that's and so actually, Quinn, I'm so glad you had so many Lips related thoughts. Like I think,
me too.
I think most other guests would have just been like, yeah, that's a puppet. So thank you.
I have Lips rage issues. I realize it. So before we leave Electric Mayhem, I have a question about them.
Mm-hmm. Please.
So up until this point, most of the times I had seen Electric Mayhem, they were wearing the same clothing every time. Like Floyd was in his Sergeant Pepper uniform, Janice in the pink tank top, Zoot in a, I guess, kind of a dashiki, like, kind of just shirt thing. And then in this, they have sort of upgraded the clothing for Janice, Floyd, and Zoot. But then Dr. Teeth and Animal are both wearing the same things they've always worn. So, like, do they have rules like, okay, Floyd, we can change his clothing, but it always has to be red. Janice, we can change her clothing, but it always has to be pink. Zoot has to be gold and blue. Like, just to complement the colors of the puppet, or is it a personal fashion choice that they make? Because my sister had the same sweater that Janice is wearing, like in 1981, and it was I don't know. It seems sort of conservative for Janice.
Sure.
I mean, later on,
Yeah,
I think we see her in a bikini or something, but still.
Right. Well, and of course, later on, she's going to talk about public nudity in this film. Spoiler. We'll get to that later.
No, there's a reason for people to keep listening to the show. I hadn't really noticed even about Floyd's suit in this being different, but yeah, you're right. Because it's so similar to his Muppet Show outfit, I guess I didn't even really notice it. But Zoot does he wear the same jacket in The Muppets Take Manhattan? Something about that design looks familiar.
I think so, or awfully similar to it. Yeah.
It's not quite plaid because it's all the same color, but it's whatever you call that.
Checked.
It's sort of checkered, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a fashion person.
No?
No, I am not.
Well, there's a sequence later in this movie that you're gonna hate.
Oh no.
Maybe you'll learn something from it. Yeah,
Ryan's gonna be taken aback by the flutter of good days. Can't wait.
Oh boy.
So at the very end, at the tail end of this sequence, we get a few more lyrics. There are bugs, and there are mice, there are mice. Do you think that the rats are like weirded out about having to sing about bugs and mice? That's always been my opinion. Like, stick the rodents with the like line about other vermin.
I always thought it was bugs and lice.
Is it bugs and lice?
I don't know. Now I'm questioning everything. Mice would make sense because it is rats singing.
Because a louse is a type of bug also.
Right. I always thought it was mice.
Yeah, I always thought mice.
Okay, I'm wrong.
I don't know. We could look up the lyrics somewhere, probably.
Yeah. But no, yeah, it's funny then and I guess there are not really Muppet mice at this point.
Well, there's Miss Mousy, R.I.P.
Oh, that's true. They should have had Miss Mousy pop in to sing the line about bugs and mice.
That would have been great. I know you're his number one fan.
I'm Miss Mousy's number one fan?
Ryan, yes. You once photoshopped a photo of Britney Spears with Miss Mousy's head.
Look, we all did crazy things in college, okay?
So that was good stuff. I love that.
Yeah. I love that's what you were doing in college. That's great.
That was about as crazy as I got. Yes.
Yep. Good stuff. So anyways, the next line is, sure, we have our little problems, but you'll never beat the price. And Scooter sings it.
Yeah.
And Scooter does a scooter fist on the word never, which Which, if listeners might not know, a scooter fist is this thing Richard Hunt used to do, where Scooter makes a fist and then cheerfully swings his arm in front of his chest.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I think we pointed it out when we were talking about the Muppet movie.
He says so we won't be recognized, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll disguise their car so they won't
be recognized. Yeah, and it's just such a Then David Rudman never seems to do it now. So every time my wife and I listen to the Muppets Most Wanted soundtrack, when we listen to the Moves Like Jagger part, we always do a scooter fist on the word Jagger every time, right? But in the movie, Scooter's like swinging his arms outward. He doesn't do a scooter fist, and it seems wrong. So it's nice to see the vintage Richard Hunt scooter fist.
They got so carried away with the puppet choreography in that number, they forgot about the nice, simple scooter fist.
Right.
I love both the phrase scooter fist, which could sound horrible, and I love that because it's so pure. I love Scooter's enthusiasm. He's a character I didn't really pay attention to until we lost Richard Hunt. And
sure.
And then, with his long absence after that, it's like I missed him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
His like when I'm talking to my students or when I'm, whatever, if something is a great idea, I always swing my arm and fist and just go, that's a great idea. And they kind of look at me like, you're oddly enthusiastic about this idea. I'm like, no, I'm just exactly the right amount of excited about it.
Yes. And by the way, I don't know about either of you, but I've just been doing the scooter fist maybe 4 or 5 times here while we've been talking.
Oh yeah, me too, for sure.
Yeah, just a swing. Yeah.
So good. It's what makes the Muppets great.
Yes.
Truly.
And then, so the last line that we hear is Fozzie says, "You got every kind of critter," and Gonzo says, "You've got every kind of pest." And I want to clarify. I want to repeat that. Fozzie says, "You got," and Gonzo says, "You've got." Fozzie says, "Kinda," and Gonzo says, "Kind of." Which makes me wonder, was it written that way, or was that just how Frank and Dave did it? Because I never thought about it until I was watching this 2 minutes at a time. But it really jumped out at me this time.
I've always considered enunciation to be one of Gonzo's sort of hallmark characteristics. He's a daredevil, but he's precise in his language.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I guess there was a reason he was cast as Charles Dickens in The Christmas Carol.
Yeah. He wasn't going to mess that up. He has a great respect of literature.
You can't imagine Fozzie Bear as Charles Dickens.
No, definitely not. Huh? Yeah, that's interesting.
So I don't know. It just jumped out. So that brings us down to the end of this. Do anything else you guys want to talk about before we close? Quinn, I'll start with you.
So an in-universe question is just: do they play this song every time someone arrives? Because at the beginning, like Pops rings the bell and says somebody's checking in. All the doors open up. Somebody's checking in. And it's like, does this happen every time someone checks in? Looking at the hotel, I don't think people check in all that often. But so that's one question.
Although it's pretty full. There's a lot of guests or people there.
Or there seem to be a lot of people living there.
Yeah, true.
And that leads me to my other thing. Is this like the Hotel California where like people check in and they never check out?
I mean, this is a spoiler for the end of the movie, but everybody seems to check out at once, right? They all take the same flight back to America.
They do.
The end of the movie.
Yeah.
Even Pops. Yeah.
Even Pops. Yeah. Swedish chef who apparently works there. The rats who work there. So I guess it's kind of an all or nothing deal. Like if somebody's going to check out, everybody's going to check out.
The whole group goes together. Yeah. Huh.
My other thing I would say about this song is that I think it is one of the things that best shows the chaos of the Muppets.
Sure.
Where I think the Muppet movie has like deeper themes and big ideas, but up until the the closing number of the Muppet movie when everything falls apart in the studio. You know, it's you don't have that chaos, and I think this movie does that better, and this song is the best example of that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with
And
every
such
word
well
of
choreographed chaos.
Right. I mean, there's talent, and like these people know this song. They've been practicing it, and they they don't step on each other's lines. It's good. They know what
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah, for sure. So Ryan, anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, something that I didn't really notice until I was, scrutinizing it like we do. This song, as we mostly saw, well, it's at the beginning of this too. So, when the song starts, it's primarily being played, as far as we can see, by the jug band.
Yeah.
Which is okay, I wrote it down. This is Lubbock Lou and his Jug Huggers.
Right.
They were the second of two jug bands to be featured on the Muppet Show. The other one, of course, being the Go-Go-Lala Jubilee Jug Band.
Of course.
Yeah, boo! Who cares about that? Boo, boo.
Well, apparently the Muppet Show creators didn't, because they replaced them in the second season.
Yeah.
But actually, these guys, the puppets, are much more interesting than the ones in that other jug band.
Right.
But so they're playing the song, and you got Ralph is playing the piano, and then when the Electric Mayhem just sort of emerges in the lobby and starts singing, they just sort of take over the instrumentation of the song too. Like the same, I never noticed this, but the same piano that Ralph was playing, Dr. Teeth is suddenly playing that piano instead, and Ralph is just kind of sitting there on the other side.
Maybe that's how they do it. Since they do the song every time someone checks in, they do it in shifts.
Right. That's how they rehearsed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Like it starts out with the jug band, and then gradually they give way to the Electric Mayhem.
Yeah, and it works with the song. Like it's a pretty smooth transition. I did notice Rolf getting pushed out of his own piano by Dr. Teeth and kind of dancing awkwardly on the backside of the piano. That was I noticed that this time too.
Right. Yeah, he just kind of has to hang out back there with the rats.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor Rolf.
It's funny that Jim Henson plays two characters who played the keyboards.
Yeah, it's interesting that, and with pretty similar voices too.
Yeah, it's true.
It's interesting that he played both of those characters.
What if he didn't know they were two different characters? Like he just showed up to work one time, they put Dr. Teeth on his hand, and he thought it was just Rolf.
I feel like it took Bill Beretta a few years to learn the difference. I feel like I'm insulting new Muppet stuff so much today. Which, not that there's any new Muppet stuff to insult, I guess, but Muppet stuff from the past, from the 21st century. So before we go, Quinn, we usually like to ask our guests, like, what is your history with the Great Muppet Caper? Do you remember the first time you saw it? Where would you rank it among the Muppet movies? Any thoughts on any of those topics?
Yeah, so I did not see very much of the Muppet Show when I was a kid, and I didn't see. I think the first Muppet movie I saw was probably The Muppets Take Manhattan, even though I was the perfect age to have seen all of that. So I don't think I saw the Great Muppet Caper maybe until high school. And when I did, it instantly became my favorite Muppet movie, and it has been ever since.
Same thing happened to me. I mean, never saw it till high school, and then it was just wow.
Yeah, it's funny. The puppetry is amazing. Miss Piggy has never looked better, and just I think every character, I don't know, everybody just shines. I mean, you and nobody really takes over the whole thing. I think there are. I love it. It's my favorite one.
Sure.
And it doesn't sacrifice funny for emotion.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
It keeps the funny. There are relationships between the characters. There's warmth between the characters, but it's funnier than it is sappy. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely prioritizes entertainment.
The only other thing that I really know about it or have fond memories of is that I only had one of the McDonald's Great Muppet Caper glasses, and it was the Happiness Hotel bus one. So, and that was a cherished possession for quite a while.
Yeah.
Do you still have it?
I don't still have it, so I guess it was a cherished possession up until some point.
And then it's ceased to be.
They are extremely easy to find if you want to go looking.
I know.
Yes, they're all on eBay.
I'll assume that my son Miles broke it when he was a wee lad.
That sounds right. Happens. Sounds right. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say he broke it because that's kind of my go-to for everything. Oh, Miles broke it.
Sure. That just about brings us down to the end of the show. So join us again next week for another episode. And in the meantime, please check out toughpigs.com on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, and all of those things. You can follow me on Twitter at Zeppo Marxist. You can follow Ryan at @MeRyanRowe. And Quinn, where can our listeners find you and your work on the internet or elsewhere?
So you can follow me on Twitter at Jedi Kermit, because I'm that kind of a person. And if you're a teacher, I have a book out called Play Like a Pirate, Engage Students with Toys, Games, and Comics. And I have a site, quinnrollins.com, with resources for teachers and people who like teaching children.
And Quinn's, I can vouch from personal experience that Quinn's book is really great.
It has a picture of a pirate rubber ducky on the cover.
Sure does.
Yeah, my rubber ducky gets around. So yeah.
And I have an autographed copy in my house. So thanks, Quinn.
You're welcome.
And let the record show that I did a scooter fist while I said thanks, Quinn.
Nice.
So thank you again so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I loved it.
Awesome. Our theme music is by Stacy Rosen, and our logo is by Morgan Davey. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Morgan. And listeners, if you're so inclined, give us a positive review on iTunes and tell all your friends to listen to the show. And we'll be back next week with another episode of Moving Right Along. Goodbye.
Renoir.